morning. What up, Jay? What's up, Justin? Good morning, Justin.
Okay, so here's the thing. Everyone keeps saying Justin and Hailey Bieber have this perfect marriage, right? But if you've been paying attention, it's pretty obvious something's off. Like, Hailey looks miserable half the time, and Justin, he's been acting like a man who's stuck in a love story he never really got over. And spoiler alert, that love story's name is Selena Gomez. But to really get what's going on, we've got to rewind to where it all started. I'm talking way back to 2009, baby Justin era. He was this teenage heartthrob performing on the Today Show. And backstage, thanks to her dad, Stephen Baldwin, a young Hailey Bieber, well, Baldwin back then got introduced to him. It was super awkward, nothing romantic, just one of those nice to meet you moments. But somehow, that tiny moment would end up shaping all the chaos we're seeing now. Fast forward a few years, it's 2014. Justin and Hailey start hanging out again, mostly through church, and the friendship starts to blur into something more. By late 2015, Hailey's already going on vacations with Justin's family, and by early 2016, they make it Instagram official. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, they're so cute!" But the honeymoon didn't even last 6 months because, plot twist, Justin unfollowed Hailey, peaced out, and ran right back to his forever muse, Selena Gomez. Meanwhile, Hailey wasn't sitting around crying either. She was out here being that girl, rumored to be linked to Drake, Shawn Mendes, basically living her best single life. Then, 2018 rolled around, and this is where everything flipped. Justin ended things with Selena again, claiming he was finally ready to move on. But instead of healing or, I don't know, taking a break from love, he literally ran straight back to Hailey. Within months, he proposed. And 3 months after that, they were married. It all happened so fast, everyone was like, wait, what just happened? It didn't even feel like a love story, more like a rebound with a wedding license. And yeah, sure, the photos looked sweet, but behind the cute Instagram captions and the gushy interviews, the cracks were already there. Hailey didn't just marry a pop star. She married a man who was still emotionally wrecked from his past. Justin's mental health was all over the place, and instead of getting the peace he was looking for, it felt like he trapped both of them in something neither was ready for. From that moment on, it's been one messy, complicated roller coaster, one where Justin keeps looking back at Selena, and Hailey's stuck trying to convince everyone, and maybe even herself, that everything's fine. Barely months after the wedding, Justin's mental health reportedly tanked. Fast. Hailey found herself playing nurse and therapist instead of bride, trying to keep him steady when he was spiraling. Sources said she was scared at times he might not even make it through, which is a lot for a 21-year-old who barely knew what married life was supposed to be. Justin, on the other hand, seemed crushed by the reality of marriage. He'd gone into it thinking it would magically fix his problems, his pain, his mistakes, maybe even the ghosts of his past with Selena. But when it didn't, he hit an emotional wall. People around them could see how dependent he became, clinging to Hailey in public, looking lost and fragile. What was supposed to be a honeymoon quickly turned into damage control. And the craziest part? Even while Hailey was doing everything to save the marriage, Justin's heart still seemed stuck somewhere else, with Selena. And then there were moments that made people seriously side-eye their relationship. Like that one time Justin literally skated off and left Hailey behind with paparazzi chasing her. She tripped, fell flat on the pavement, and had to run after him through New York traffic. It was so awkward, people couldn't believe it. Then came that uncomfortable live stream. Fans asked about Justin's Lyme disease, and Hailey looked terrified to answer until she saw him smirk. Only then did she relax and smile back, like she was trying to mirror his mood just to stay on his good side. It was giving walking on eggshells. And the irony? While she was always protecting his privacy, Justin had no problem putting her business out there. Remember when she had that scary mini-stroke incident? He went online telling everyone about it like it was nothing. He called her strong, sure, but it came off like he was in charge, not concerned. You could just feel that weird power imbalance, like their relationship was built on control instead of comfort. Which brings us to the next part. People started wondering if Justin had actually been conditioning Hailey from the start. So, word is that Justin had been kind of conditioning Hailey to be this totally loyal, ride or die partner long before they were even married. It goes all the way back to 2016, around the time he was casually involved with Kourtney Kardashian, and even before that, had flings with Kendall, who just so happens to be Hailey's best friend. Yeah, messy. Hailey and Justin were seeing each other on and off during that same period, but Justin always kept things non-exclusive, saying he didn't want to be tied down, and everyone could tell Hailey wanted more. She played it cool in public, but she clearly hoped it'd turn into something serious. Meanwhile, he was jumping from her to Sofia Richie and then straight back to Selena. When Justin and Selena reconnected, it wasn't casual. He'd promised to change, said he wanted to make things right, even decided to stay celibate. But that was all for Selena, not Hailey. He was ready to build a life with her again until Selena finally said she was done for good. She'd realized the relationship wasn't healthy anymore. She even admitted later that it had been emotionally abusive. That breakup shattered Justin, and instead of healing, he ran straight back to Hailey, the girl who was always waiting for him. Within months, they were married. But that's where people started whispering. Had Justin really moved on, or was he just trying to fill the void Selena left? Because even after the wedding, it seemed like he still carried Selena's ghost with him. He'd reference her in songs, even using the exact same phrases she'd used before. Fans started calling Hailey the replacement girl, saying Justin never really stopped loving Selena. He just needed someone safe to hold on to while he got over her. And honestly, that theory made sense when you saw how weirdly rushed everything was. The courthouse wedding, the quiet paperwork, the green card, it all looked like a scramble to make things official fast. Some people even think the timing had more to do with his immigration status than love, since Justin was still on a visa back then. Then, as the years went by, the cracks showed. They barely looked connected in public anymore. Fans noticed he'd stopped showing up for her events. And those Valentine's posts? Yeah, they were about themselves, not each other. By now, people were saying Justin had been trying to end things quietly, but couldn't, at least not yet. Because if he divorced her too soon after getting citizenship, that'd raise red flags. So, for a lot of fans, it started to seem like Justin wasn't staying for love. He was staying for logistics. And even if that's not totally true, one thing's clear. Every time Justin's thought about leaving, it's always tied back to Selena.